My C was only 5 when she wandered away from her family's campsite while chasing a bright yellow butterfly. Her dad had just let her help pack the marshmallows, and her mom said she was big enough to carry her own tiny backpack with snacks and a flashlight. Best of all, Rusty, her big golden dog with soft ears and gentle eyes, had come along for the trip. Their campsite sat beside a quiet forest lake, where tall trees touched the sky and the air smelled like pine and sunshine. My C spent the afternoon throwing sticks for Rusty and collecting smooth rocks along the shore while her parents set up the tent. "Stay where we can see you," her mom called. "I will," My C shouted, already distracted by a bright yellow butterfly fluttering past her nose. The butterfly danced just out of reach, and My C giggled as she followed it, stepping over roots and ducking under branches. Rusty trotted beside her, tail wagging, thinking it was a game. The butterfly floated deeper into the trees and then disappeared. My C stopped walking. The woods suddenly felt different, quieter, and much bigger. She turned around, but the lake and the tent were gone. "Mom?" she called. No answer. "Dad?" Only wind in the leaves. Her chest felt tight and tears filled her eyes. "Rusty, I can't see the campsite." Rusty pressed gently against her leg, his tail still now, ears perked and alert. My C wiped her face with her sleeve. "We just have to go back," she said, trying to sound brave. They walked in what she thought was the right direction, but every tree looked the same. The ground sloped downward into rocks and tangled roots. Soon, My C tripped and fell hard on her knees. "Ow!" Before she could cry, Rusty hurried back and licked her cheek. She hugged his neck and buried her face in his fur. "I'm glad you came with me," she whispered. They kept moving, slower now. Rusty walked a little ahead, sniffing the ground and stopping often to make sure she followed. The terrain grew rough, with sharp stones and fallen branches blocking their path. Once, My C tried to climb over a log and slipped, but Rusty stood steady so she could grab his fur and keep her balance. "You're helping me," she said. "You're being my trail dog." Rusty gave a soft huff, like he agreed. After a while, My C heard water and found a small stream trickling through the trees. She remembered her dad saying people often camp near water. "Maybe we follow this," she told Rusty. They walked along the stream, but the ground became muddy and uneven. My C's boots sank, and she nearly lost one. Rusty stayed on firmer ground and kept circling back, guiding her away from the worst spots. The sun began to sink lower, and shadows stretched long across the forest floor. "I don't like when it gets dark," My C whispered. Rusty moved closer to her side. Suddenly, there was a loud crack from the bushes. Both of them froze. Heavy footsteps rustled through the leaves. Rusty stepped in front of My C, his body stiff, a low growl rumbling from his chest. A large bear stepped out between the trees. My C's heart pounded as she grabbed Rusty's fur with shaking hands. The bear sniffed the air, not seeing them yet. Rusty barked, loud and deep. The bear's head snapped toward them. Rusty didn't run. He stood tall, barking again and again, moving sideways, but staying between the bear and My C. "Rusty," she whispered, terrified. The bear huffed, swaying its head. Rusty kept barking, backing slowly toward a fallen tree and nudging My C behind it. She crouched low, while Rusty made himself look as big as he could, growling and barking fiercely. After a long, tense moment, the bear grunted and wandered back into the forest. My C sank to the ground, shaking. Rusty came to her at once, licking her face and whining softly. "You saved me," she said, hugging him tight. Night began to fall, and forest sounds filled the air. My C knew they couldn't keep walking. They found a thick tree with dry pine needles underneath. Rusty circled the area carefully before lying down. My-C sat beside him and turned on her flashlight for a moment, then turned it off to save the battery. "I'm not scared," she whispered, even though she was. She curled against Rusty's warm fur, and his steady breathing helped her feel calmer. He stayed awake, ears twitching at every sound, guarding her through the night. After a while, she heard something faint in the distance. "My-C!" She sat up fast. "Mom!" Rusty barked loudly. "My-C!" Flashlights flickered through the trees. "We're here!" she shouted, her voice cracking. Rusty barked again and again, guiding the sound toward them. The lights grew brighter, and voices came crashing through the woods. Her dad burst into the clearing and dropped to his knees, pulling her into a tight hug. "My-C! Oh, thank goodness!" Her mom wrapped her arms around both of them, crying into My-C's hair. "We looked everywhere," she said. A ranger knelt to pet Rusty. "This dog stayed with her?" My-C nodded sleepily. "He scared the bear away, helped me walk, and kept me warm." Rusty leaned against her leg, tail wagging slowly now that it was safe. Her dad scratched behind Rusty's ears. "Best dog in the world," he said. They wrapped My-C in a blanket and carried her back toward the campsite, lights and safety. Rusty walked beside them the whole way, never going far. My-C looked down at him and smiled. "I wasn't alone," she murmured. Rusty looked up at her with soft, proud eyes, and she knew she never had been.